2 goals, a clean sheet, 3 goals chalked off for very, very close offside decisions. We hit the bar. Their goalkeeper made a couple of really good saves. It's indisputable that United not just won that derby, but won it well. A really, really good performance. A game that suits this team. City playing with a suicidally high line. Inexperienced at the back. You could see it in the first half that they were nervous defensively. They kicked the ball out of play under no pressure 3 times in the first 15 minutes. There was the warning signs for them were there when obviously we hit the bar from a set piece, but more than that, there was, as I say, there's borderline offside decisions which I think were very, very, very close. On another day, I don't know. I think maybe they're onside. They were very, very close. And as I've said many times before, our team suits playing in transitions and suits playing against teams with a high line. When I saw the team, I was worried about Maguire at the back as part of 2, as I said in my preview, because Haaland just bossed him at the Etihad earlier in the season. But we ourselves played deep and got men in and around the ball in those key defensive areas. It wasn't just like there were 2 centre backs isolated, because they weren't. There was a lot of desire from everybody to get back and work, and then really it was a case of Ahmad, Bruno, Dorgu, who played like a hybrid role. He was like a wing back today. He was everywhere, and then Bumo on the counter attack, and it was simple and straightforward, and yet so devastatingly effective. It really reminded me actually of a Solskjaer performance against City, and it does make you wonder if, as I've said before, the strategy behind a lot of what Solskjaer did was Carrick and McKenna by all accounts. So whatever he did in the few days that he's had Carrick, he's put together a team and a performance, and more importantly an energy and a body language and a desire to apply what they've worked on, and it worked perfectly well. And United were worthy winners. It was fantastic, brilliant performance. The first goal, I mean, the more I look at it, the more I cannot believe how naive City were. People talk about Guardiola being the best manager that's ever lived, apparently. I cannot believe they played such a high line, and they left themselves so exposed on the counter attack. It's a ball into our box which we win the header from, and Bumo, lovely little touch to Bruno, and then the next pass is Bruno to Bumo, and it's a goal. And bear in mind, we got the ball on the edge of our own area. Now it's a fantastic counter attack. I'm not discrediting ourselves here at all, but that is such poor defending. And we took advantage of it brilliantly. The second goal is a thing of beauty for me. I love simplicity in football, and Cunha gets the ball and just decides, I'm going to beat you on the outside and put a cross in. That's Man United. There's a lot of debate at the moment about United DNA. That's Man United. Do the basic things well, get it out wide, put a cross across the box that's going to cause havoc, and Dorgu taking a chance at the back stick and making an inside run and wants it more than the defender. Outstanding goal. But they were. My concern was they were there for the taking, and in the first half we didn't take our chances, and the concern was, and Boomer didn't play particularly well in the first half, and it's that lack of quality in the final third really was costing us in the first half, and not being clinical enough with our chances. Although, as I said, we hit the bar and had 2 chalked off for offside, which I think were very, very close. And United, invariably over these last probably 18 months, maybe longer, they don't put a consistent 90-minute performance in. They play in bits and bats, and I'm worried about their ability to sustain the performance. But not only did we sustain it, but if anything, it got better. And what you see towards the end then, with some of the one-touch football that we're playing in tight spaces, is confidence. Confidence is, if you could bottle it and inject it, it'd be worth all the money in the world, because you see how confident they were passing it about. You hear the energy of the crowd. They talked about the atmosphere at the end of the game. The atmosphere was brilliant from us going 1-0 up. The atmosphere until that point was decent, but there was periods where it was quiet and there was periods where it was quite apprehensive. Understandably so, I'm not criticising the fans when I say that, but when we score, and especially after we scored the second goal, it's joy, it's hope. I've said before, this club is devoid of hope, it's devoid of joy, it's devoid of optimism. And when you're 2-0 up and with 30-something% possession still managing to outplay the, at the moment, more illustrious neighbours, what's not to be happy about? It was rocking towards the end, which is great, and it's like it's injected something in. And I said that before the game, I said it in my preview. It's a big game, it's a tough game, but it's an opportunity because of the feeling you get when you win a game like this. But we haven't smashed and grabbed that by any stretch of the imagination. That was a top quality performance, and that's what makes it so special. Is that was a thought out, well executed, brilliant performance from United, and massive credit to Carrick and the coaches and of course the players, because they're the ones that cross the white line and have to go and do it. They were magnificent today, from start to finish. Can't fault them. I don't recall City having a chance. Did City have a chance? I don't recall City having a chance. So that's where we deserve huge credit. I've criticised City's defence. Our defence was immense today. And I don't just mean actually the defence itself, the whole team defended so well. Player ratings, and I'm going to be generous today, and it's such a pleasure to be able to give player ratings where I can say 8s, 9s, close to 10s at times, so I'm really looking forward to doing this. That said, Lemens 5. No, Lemens, I'm going to give him a 7 because I'm in a generous mood. He didn't have anything to do. He fumbled one ball he didn't need to go near, and it went out for a corner. In fact, let's be real about it. Let's say 6. It's a 6 for Lemens. He fumbled a ball which cost us a corner, which could have been costly, but it wasn't. And the only other thing I recall him really doing is coming and taking a corner very, very well in a crowded area. Other than that, unless I'm forgetting something, I don't think he had anything to do. So good with a team in front of him. Left back Luke Shaw, 7.5. Good on the ball, did all the basic things right, made good challenges, played on a booking for quite a while, which is risky as a fullback. Shaw's a really good player, needs to stay fit, has stayed fit this season. Can he play left back week in, week out? He's only got 1 game a week, so I don't see why not. If we were playing in multiple competitions, I'd question that, but we're not. A good performance from him. Martinez, 8. Brilliant, aggressive, strong, didn't give Haaland a sniff, won everything that was in and around him, won a few headers, brought the ball out well, passed the ball well. Super performance from him. Love Martinez, another one that if he stays fit is massively important to United, and he was excellent today. I said in the preview I think he should play in midfield, played at the back today and he was brilliant. Maguire, another one that I didn't think should start, 8. Huge presence at the back today, and man mountain, should have scored in the first few minutes, but nothing got past him. Read the game well, used the ball well when he came out of the back line like Martinez did. Presence is what I'd say about Maguire. Gives you presence. It's not the long-term solution moving forward to have Maguire and Martinez as the centre-back pairing, but if De Ligt's not fit and Maguire, again, getting fit once a week, if we sit deep, Maguire's fine. It's when maybe we're playing teams that we're expected to dominate and that's a problem for the whole team, which I'll get back to perhaps later on. Well, maybe not today. Maybe not today. Probably not the right time to talk about that. We'll keep it positive. Maguire 8. Dalot. I'm going to say 6.5. He stood out like a sore thumb in the first 20 minutes. I thought he's probably quite lucky to be on the pitch. He won the ball, but his follow through was nasty on Doku, which, you know what, I don't mind about that. I should have said that earlier. Actually, the team played with aggression today. They were not shy in coming forward and making challenges and throwing themselves in, but that was risky. And then there was a couple of times where his choice of pass wasn't particularly good. His weight of pass to Ahmad was awful when we were on a counter attack. There was a ball on for Mbeumo at one point, which Mbeumo pointed right where he wanted it. Dalot was in a good position to pass it to, and he just held on to it too long. He didn't have a good first 20 minutes, and on a booking with Doku up against you, it's a recipe for disaster. But he recovered himself, and I thought he was really good for the remaining 70 minutes of the game. Not really good, he was good, he was decent, and probably symbolic of the team really. Once we got control of the game, his performance improved even more, and he looked confident, and he passed the ball well, and he did this basic stuff. You know, and I don't want to be negative, but Gary Neville said after Dalot got booked, I think Doku got the ball wide left, and Dalot was out quickly to him, and it went out for a corner because he blocked it. And Gary Neville said, look at the difference between that and the game against Burnley when Dalot didn't get out quickly enough and we ended up conceding a goal. So starved have United been of any basic standards over these last few years that we're celebrating things that really are quite basic. And I'm mindful of that as I talk about the performance today. It was brilliant. It was a really good performance. But there was elements of it that are just doing your job properly, as Roy Keane would say. It is just doing your job properly. It's what you're paid to do. And I thought Dalot was better at that for the last 70 minutes of the game. So 6.5, it still wasn't great. Casemiro, I hold my hands up. I didn't think he should start today. He was brilliant. Not as brilliant as some. I say 8. I was going to say 7.5. I think he probably. There is some players I'm going to give a 9 to. So no, he wasn't quite as brilliant as some, but made lots of tackles, positioned himself well, got up and down well, was quite mobile. I think he was knackered when he came off and got a standing ovation, and fully deserved. That's what I want from him. I want presence. I want impact. I want someone, if you can only do it for 70 minutes, that's fine. But pedigree, he's got pedigree as a player. And I know he's not the player he used to be, but for 70 minutes, can you put a shift in? Can you set a tone? Can you use the ball well? Can you be aggressive? Can you be in the right position? He was all of that today, so 8 out of 10 for him. Mainu, super performance, 8 again. He looked knackered on about 65 minutes, and Gary Neville called it in commentary and said, I think Mainu's going to come off in the next 10 minutes. He seemed to get a bit of a second wind, and Carrick obviously trusted him. He's not played a full 90 minutes for a long, long time. I don't know if he's played a full 90 minutes this season. Used the ball well, positional sense was good, basic stuff, a lot of it, but did what he does well. He took it in tight spaces and he used it well, and I thought we were just very efficient today with our ball retention and movement, just basic stuff, but stuff we just don't do well enough. And I thought he was very good at all of that type of stuff. Who next? Bruno, 9. Bruno's a top-class football player. On his worst day, he's still one of our best players. He looked liberated today. So smart, so clever. Pinging passes left, right and centre, a couple of which went awry, and one in particular could have caused us a bit of bother actually. But by and large, his passing was immense. His range of passing, the simple passes that he does, finding little pockets of space, making things happen. A brilliant weight of pass for the goal. You know, what he did for the first goal is easily underestimated. when you have that amount of time to weigh a situation up, it actually, for some players, it makes it harder for them. But with a player of his quality, he lives for moments like that. And the weight of pass to Mbeumo is just world class. It's a brilliant pass. It's simple in many ways, but it's so easy to get it wrong. And you don't want anyone else from our team in that position other than Bruno. And it was a brilliant. He was immense today, Fernandes. So 9 out of 10 for me. Amad 7.5, a constant menace, dangerous, had a good shot, which was saved, or should have said before with Casemiro actually. He should have scored actually, Casemiro. He should have just buried the rebound from Amad and he tried to dink it. That was the one thing I think he got a bit wrong today. But Amad, yeah, good effort when he cut inside. He's, again, used the ball smartly, used it well. Good movement, hit the post with that breakaway. God, we hit the post as well, I forgot about that. So we hit the bar, we hit the post, we had 3 goals disallowed and we scored 2. I tell you what, that is some going. That is some going. Flipping heck, when you think about it. Jesus. Yeah, I'm at 7.5. Dorgu, I'm going to go 8.5. I thought he was absolutely brilliant. Wrestled, fought like a lion to try and win that ball back. Used his body well. Got in good positions. Used the ball well when he was up top. As I said, he was a hybrid today. He was supposedly a left winger, but he was everywhere. He was covering for sure, and then he was all of a sudden pop up the other end. His goal was United football, as I say, take a risk, make a run, be optimistic, get in the right position, and a good finish. Quality performance from Dorgu today. All action, brilliant, 8.5. And Mbeumo, I'm gonna give him a 7.5 because he started and ended the move essentially for the first goal. I thought before that he was quite poor. But I think that'll massively lift him. And it was a really good finish. And he had another, did he have a volley where Donnarumma made a save? I think he did, but he volleyed it into the ground. That was a decent effort. There was one in the first half actually when it went over to him. I think it might have been Fernandes who put the cross in. And I thought it was an opportunity for him to volley it on his left foot. And Dorgu obviously gave him a shout and he listened to the shout. I wouldn't listen to the shout if I'm in Mbeumo there. I said to my lad, if Van Persie was at the back stick and in a position to swing his left foot at that, and Patrice Evra was shouting for the ball, he'd ignore him. He'd just volley it because you're the striker. Seniority takes precedent in a situation like that. You know what you're doing. I've just fallen into the trap of comparing it to ex-players, which I spoke about yesterday, so I shouldn't have done that really, but just to illustrate the point really, not to have a go at Mbeumo, but I think he's got to pull rank there and just hit it, whether Dorgu's give him a shout or not. I really hope that gives him a lift because you can see how much the lad wants it. You can see he's a good egg, and he scored a vital goal as well. Subs. Cunha, 7.5. Brilliant assist, great aggression. Got it on the left hand side. And went and took it into the corner to keep it in the corner. It just ended up in the corner. And again, he gets his arse out. He gets himself strong, and he's taking hits, and he's like, "Fuck off!" And then he plays a really good ball. Yeah, he's mint, Cunha. He's got so much more to give to this team. Really like the cut of his jib. He needs consistency, and he needs a platform to go and perform. Could have sulked today, not getting picked. There was none of that. You could see he came on and he delivered for the team, and he actually assisted Mount's disallowed goal, which was a great move as well. And I thought he made a real impact when he came on. So good performance from him. Ugarte, nice and steady, 7. Yeah, not much to add to that really. No need to overanalyze it. Heaven didn't get long at all, but made one decent tackle where he flew in on their attacking right hand side. I'd just give him a 7. He didn't have an awful lot to do. Mount obviously came on and scored, but then he got disallowed. He barely had any time on the pitch. Can't really give a rating to Mount. Am I missing someone? Don't know. Never really rate the manager in terms of giving them a rating for performances. I know some channels do, but if you could give Michael Carrick a rating today, you'd have to. You go in 9.5/10 because he's had 3 days with them, and so many times managers have come in, or caretaker managers or interims, and have come into United and the first game looks no different to the last game. There is a noticeable difference in energy. And I said this the other day, I don't mean energy as in like how energetic they are. I mean the energy, the vibe they're giving off, the body language they're giving off, the belief they have in themselves, the structure of the team. And I don't doubt that's Steve Holland as well. But what an impact. And I mentioned it in the preview. I know I've said it already, but tough game, but an opportunity. You've still got to go and take that opportunity. Me and my lad today on the way to football, I coach his football team on a Saturday. We're talking about, he asked me naively, God bless him, did Sir Matt Busby leave and then Alex Ferguson take over? So I went through all the different managers and said Ferguson was the 6th manager after Sir Matt Busby. And we were talking about, or I was telling him about those last few seasons under Ferguson, when in 2011 we got to the Champions League final with, I think, a pretty average team. We won the league in 2013 by 11 points with a team that on merit, without him as manager, should finish 3rd or 4th. And when he left, we finished 7th with pretty much the same team. And he mentioned the Pep and the Ferguson thing. I said, I'm biased, it's not even a debate as far as I'm concerned. Pep could never do what Ferguson did with Glazonomics and the work that he did in those latter years and build so many teams. And we spent money, fair enough, over the years, but when there's a problem, Pep spends 200 or 300 million quid to try and solve the problem. And I look at that today, and I don't care about City, but I'm just making a comment at the end of the video about the performance today from United. But that was a naive, awful tactical display from City. And he had no answer to it, and they kept making the same mistakes, which I'm delighted they did that. But is he really the best of all time? I don't know. I'm not sure about that at all. As I said, I don't really care. It's a sweet moment. It is a sweet, sweet moment. And it seems that wherever I move house, I'm always surrounded by bloody City fans as neighbours. But I love that on days like today, because I know full well that the one over the road stares right into my lounge, which is where I was watching it, and jumping around like an absolute lunatic. And I really hope he saw me, because, like I've said many times before, they're not worth the shit under our shoe. There's only one team that's ever won the treble. There's only one team in Manchester that anyone outside of Manchester has ever heard of. Manchester is red. And today, it is very red. Come on! Glazers out.